Hello, Fightful Faithful. Do not adjust your sets. It's Wednesday, let's say October 28th, probably. This is the Fightful AEW Dynamite review show, and I'm Alex. Normally Sean would be here, but he's got the night off, and replacing him is definitely not Sean Rossap. This is Cresta, not Kate. But I don't have a border that says Cresta. Cresta's here. Cresta, we've never worked together.
A shame.
And so this is fun for both of us because we've always thought, what would happen? And apparently I think what's going to happen is chaos. So
I love chaos.
Let's do it.
I love that I get to be Kate. So no matter what I say, the views do not reflect Cresta Star. They directly affect Kate. Unless you agree with them, then they affect Cresta Star.
Fantastic. Cresta, how the heck are you on this All Hallows Eve?
I am doing great. I just got back. This is my first show back from my 2-month hiatus. Very excited. I haven't really been watching wrestling, so I got to come in tonight like a virgin, and I had a good time. So I'm going to be positive Pete. Let's see how long that lasts. I do have to cover the TNA show at some point.
Oh, well, condolences. So
pepperoni.
Everybody in the chat, please tell Cresta how much you love her outfit, because she told me she made this herself.
I did. I could not believe that I made this. Wait till you guys see the pictures. Follow me on Twitter, shameless self-promotion, Cresta the Star, like Megan Thee Stallion. I have pictures everywhere on social media else. Instagram, Cresta Star. I can't believe I made this. If you want one, it'll be $11 million. Thank you so much.
It is one of one. Like that's the thing, is you don't need when there's one of one, it's priceless. So hey everybody, this is Cresta. Show her some love. Be nice to her. If you don't see her around on the other things that she does, well, first of all, shame on you, and second of all, she's here tonight and she's our guest, and she's great. So we're gonna try and get through this Dynamite. It's the Fright night. It's their Halloween gimmick. It's fun. There's stuff going on. There was a big costume reveal at the end of the show, which we'll get to, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, get in your super chats, get in your humpa chats. We're gonna be here all night talking about this particular episode. Bryan Danielson, I will mention now so I don't forget it, was dressed as Hechicero, and he had the mask and the cloak and everything, and I didn't see him in the costume until 45 minutes into the broadcast, maybe even later. So the first time it ever cut to them behind the desk, I was like, Danielson, what are you doing? And then I realized it was Hechicero, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
I mean, why wouldn't he dress up as Hechicero? I mean, Hechicero's over everywhere. Even if you don't know him, you do know him.
He's great. I mean, yo soy Hechicero. Everybody knows that. So, this the show opens with the Tornado tag match: Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin versus Wheeler and Daniel Garcia. It's everybody's doing crazy stuff. Garcia and Yuta are playing fast and loose with morality, and Darby Allin is playing fast and loose with his own life. It's the way it works. And then Orange Cassidy's doing stuff. It's fun. I don't think there was ever a doubt that the heels would win this, like ever a thought that they would, because they did not, in fact. Darby has now adopted the sharpshooter, but it's it's the sharpshooter. That's the thing about it, is they're both the same move. So when he does it, it's a Scorpion Deathlock because he does it because Sting taught him how to do it. And when Daniel Garcia does it, it's called the Dragon Tamer, but it's still just a fancy sharpshooter. So I wonder if we'll probably wind up getting at some point during, let's say, the next 6 to 8 months, a submission match where it's Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia, and it's just who sharpshoots or Scorpion Deathlocks the best. But
you got to get Cactus Jack to come out there, bang bang.
he tapped out Wheeler Yuta. The story seems to be that all of the Death Riders are now chumps who tap out at the first sign of a Scorpion Deathlock, and that's not my favorite way to deal with the demise of the Death Riders after being on top for so long. Is that now it's the age-old trope that a bully isn't really that tough. If you stand up to him, he'll cry back to his mama. And so that's what they're doing with Jon Moxley. And I don't like that with Jon Moxley. I don't like doing it. Like, I'm sure there are lots of wrestling heels where I would be all for the thing of, well, they're really tough, but if you put them in a submission, they'll tap out immediately because they're really a wuss. And they did that with Gunther in WWE, and I hated it. And they seem to be doing that now with Moxley and the Death Riders. We'll see what comes from it. But on commentary, Danielson keeps bringing up, wow, Wheeler Yuta tapping out pretty quick to that Scorpion Deathlock, just like Jon Moxley did. And it feels like they're kind of focusing on that. We'll see where they take it. But for now, that seems to be where they're going.
I only will counter with that is that the Death Riders always are like, let's jump you. We don't really fight one-on-one. And Wheeler Yuta is king of, I'm getting beat up all the time. I will say I do like the pairing of Daniel Garcia with Wheeler Yuta because I was really beginning to sports hate Wheeler Yuta. I was ready for him to get his head shaved and leave town. Daniel Garcia, I can't believe what they've done to my boy, but these two are the snotty-nosed brat kids that I know are either going to A, take the L, B, cause the interference, or DQ. Yep. So I'm not mad about it. I do agree with what you're saying about the Death Riders tapping out, but I will say, maybe this is just me being away from wrestling for a little bit. Danielson tonight was very heavy-handed on, here's what's going to happen. Let me show you it. Let me show you it. Especially, I think, in the last match, he was like, is he going to do this? Like, Danielson, please, I love you, but a little more show, a little less tell.
Yeah. Yes. Meet Normus says, Cresta, you look sweeter than a plate of yams with extra syrup. This show was 4 stars in the Tokyo Dome because we get Meg and Marina murder mommies. Now, we'll talk about this at length later, but yes, Penelope Ford is injured. She tore her UCL, which, if you're a baseball
never heard of
fan, it's the ulnar collateral ligament. It's basically the ACL from your knee, but transpose that to your elbow. So as bad as that is for your knee, that's how bad it is for your elbow. That is the same thing that happens when, if you're a baseball fan, a pitcher needs Tommy John surgery. They named it after a guy who got the surgery and then came back and pitched for another 20 years or whatever. So you can come back from it, but depending on how well the surgery goes, she could be out for well over a year. So we'll hope for the best for Penelope. But yeah, so she is out of the tag tournament. And Megan Bain says, anybody in the locker room who wants to step up, suggest yourself to me, and I will determine whether or not you are on the level of a goddess. And Marina Shafir immediately steps up and gets the blessing from Jon Moxley as well. And Megan Bain and her fist bump. And that is something I did not know I needed was that pairing, but that should be a lot of fun. Just vicious, angry submissions and elbows to the face, and then giant power bombs. I'm fine with that. That sounds good.
That sounds amazing. We have a humper chat to go along with that. We got a humper chat from Jordan S saying, I feel for Penelope, but Megan and Marina, the goddesses of death, now I want them to go far. which I will agree with. Alex, if you don't know anything about me, is that I enjoy gout and I love meat if it comes from men or women. And that is a meaty match that I personally, Cresta Star, want to see. Also, shout outs to you, Meat Normus. Thank you. They used to call me diabetes in college because I'm so sweet. I don't know how I thought it was going to go, but I do know in the finals, I need Athena and Mercedes versus Megan Bayne and Marina, because I'm afraid of Marina and there'll be no Marina slander from me. Okay.
No.
So
yeah, I've already pretty well in my brain figured out where I think they're gonna go with this. And I think Megan and Marina will win their first match. I'll say that, but I don't think they're getting past the second round. We'll
That's
talk
fair.
more about that tournament when we get a match within it. But yeah, so there was hold on here. There was some stuff. Okay, so Hook shows up. Hook is walking into the building. He's got 2 rolly suitcases and then like a big man purse on top of one of the rolly suitcases. Are you here for the night to wrestle, or are you like taking a plane to Cabo for a girls' weekend? Like, what is like? That's a lot of luggage for a man in his 20s who's just going to show up and put on some shorts to wrestle in. Like, how many changes of clothes does he need at the venue? Like, if you have that much to go on the road and you have all that stuff in your hotel room, I mean, technically, he could wear the shorts underneath his pants as he goes to the, and just take the pants off. He's wearing the shorts to wrestle in. Maybe a roll of wrist tape and your boots. But I don't need to need much more than that if you're Hook.
Tell me how you really feel, Alex.
Listen, this is my thing. Kate has called me out on this. I am very obsessed with fashion when it comes to wrestling.
Same.
So I didn't know what he needed all that stuff for.
You know, maybe you have to wrestle at 6, 8 o'clock and then hit the club at, 10. And then you have to go back home to Brooklyn to see your dad at 12. So I don't know his life.
Good. Yeah, it's good. Also, it's very possible the bags are full of Doritos. He's got one suitcase that is just Doritos. Half Doritos, half Funyuns. I think he feels like a Funyuns guy.
Funyuns are great, but they make everything on you stink.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be tasting like Funyuns for the next week. So yeah, there we go. He cuts a little promo. It's fine. I'm gonna take you out, Joe. I'm definitely gonna make sure you don't win this. And I have really bad news for Hook from the future. You did not make sure he did not win this. As a matter of fact, you were the cause of him winning this. Spoiler alert. We'll talk about that later.
You hate to see that kind of thing happen.
Yeah. So Don Callis talks to Renee, and Renee says, hey, what's going on with Takeshita and Okada? Are you worried that your family might have a few cracks in it? And he says, no, that is not the case at all. How dare you for asking? And then he sees the Young Bucks and he's like, hi guys, I would like to recruit you to my family that has 15 people in it. And and they're like, well, I don't know. He's like, wait. I got them to do an actual good intro for you. So they play the real music and they get to go out. And then Don Callis blows some smoke up their young butts about how great they are in his little, intro that he does himself. This was fun. I don't know what the end game is with Young Bucks and Don Callis. I assume they eventually turn him down, but is that part of an overall babyface turn? It probably is, right?
I would have to think so, especially when you think about the last interaction that they had with Kenny Omega was running down to the ring, looking at the Bucks like, bro, help me. And they look like, I'm poor and I can't. So he's like, screw you guys. Eventually, you can't turn down the Don Callis family for free. I mean, you could try, but it doesn't work like that. It's kind of like if the Hurt Syndicate says, you want to hurt people with us, and then you say you're a Buddhist, that doesn't jack with their whole philosophy. Right. So I would hope so. And much like we're having a blood and guts with the Conglom and Death Riders, there'll it'll be some sort of stadium stampede or classroom melee, because there's a whole classroom of Don Callis family, a whole orphanage at this point. So I don't know. I would hope so, but I don't know what part of the elite, like how much of the elite are we bringing? Like, are we digging in the New Japan bag of the elite? Because there's a million Don Callis people.
There's also like one guy who's a couple of guys who were injured. Brian Cage is in that family. He's injured. Wardlow showed up for two appearances. He's injured. So those guys are those guys are still in the family. And then there's a guy who's like stuck in the upside down. We have no idea where Andrade is right now. We think maybe he's manipulating the lights, and we can maybe do some Morse code from inside, do a little SOS. Andrade, stay where you are. We will find you. He's
Andrade
in purgatory
is the Eric
somewhere
Young of AEW at this point.
He is somewhere between worlds. We don't know where Andrade is. We will find him and we will bring him home. But until that point, we don't have him right now. So I don't know if the Bucks were to join. I mean, I've lost track, but like at some point it's gonna get like over 20 guys, which is like NWO levels.
I was about to say this is NWO, you know pal.
This is the thing that I've kind of thought is when Takeshita breaks. I don't need babyface Takeshita. I just want like tweener, leaning heel, but also he's cool and we like him. And maybe he brings a few of the dudes from the Don Callis family with him to like Wolfpack were still heels, right? But they were the cool version of the NWO, you know, like
anti-heroes. We're bad guys, but we're not guys.
Exactly. Anti-heroes. That's what they were. I'm waiting once it becomes big enough that it has to split. I kind of want like the factions, the Don Callis white and the Don Callis red. You know?
I want Don Callis pink and Don Callis Hoochie Cyril. That's what I want. Give me what I want, God damn it.
Man, Hoochie Echicero as Takeshita's number one dude as his backup would be really cool. I just love the idea of them speaking Japanese and Spanish to each other, but they can both understand it and we can't. Like, that would be an amazing gimmick.
And Orange Cassidy understands both of them, but won't translate.
Yes, somehow, and he won't do it.
Where's Danhausen? I feel like Danhausen needs to be somewhere in this to curse somebody.
He could be like the court jester or something. That'd be fun.
Come on. No, Stokely is the court jester, unfortunately.
That's true. Yeah. Orion Ben says, regular Alex, Cresta, Sus, Sickos Unite, pass beer.
I'm actually Kate. I miss Kate Fabe.
Right. You are right. Right now you are Miss Kate Fabe. Yes. You look. Yeah, it's great. Jordan says DCF had a decent 5 versus 5 split when Takeshita and Okada were beefing. Yeah, it does look when they were pulling the guys apart, it did feel like maybe this is the beginning of where these factions are gonna go. Meat Normus says that the DCF has more members than the Wu-Tang Clan.
You know, they had the RZA, ODB, and I'm not gonna try to name all of them. Maybe more like Dipset, because there was a million people in Dipset, quite literally. You probably only know Cameron and maybe Jewels. Jim Jones, if you're nasty.
Yeah. So the Four Corners tag match, the same 8 guys who were in the 8-man tag on Saturday, which was a hoot. This was also certified owl-esque. There was so much hooting. Like I was wow. This was impeccably put together. To have 8 guys, like all the moving parts, everyone's got to be in the right spot. Everyone's got to make sure that when they take a spot, they need to know when the next time they're going to get up and deliver a spot, like all that stuff. And there's a really high degree of difficulty with these kind of matches. And I thought everybody just knocked it out of the park with this.
I have to say that about all the tag matches tonight, because I don't
Yeah.
think we got not even one singles match tonight. Everything was so high paced, and I normally say this about matches that are super high. I hate these kinds of matches because I have to take notes. And how can I? You look down to take a note, someone's dead. You know, like I
what
thought,
did I miss? Yeah.
like I thought that the balls were gonna jump the one guy with the head.
Mhm.
That's later on in the night. But I'm like, this match with JetSpeed, first of all, writing anything about Speedball Mike Bailey is a pain because this man is so good. He's so fabulous in everything that he does. FTR, I know a lot of people don't like them, but these are the perfect ASSs that you need in this world. They're old school wrestling heels. And Stokely Hathaway is sports annoying, and I live. I don't know how you, like you said, I don't know how you work this match, especially with people like Jurassic Express, who the crowd is just like, I don't care about these other guys. This is what I want. But I'm glad that FTR got the win, because I think if you put the win on the Bucks in this moment, it kind of forces something ahead that's a little bit more slow burn. The only other answer to me would have been Jurassic Express, but then you would expect Brodito to lose there. And I don't think. We were okay with FTR losing, and FTR don't even got to take the pin. They could get screwed because a lot of people don't like those guys.
Yeah, that's true. I listen. I really like Brodito, but you can't deny what the people like. The people have decided. No, Jurassic Express is back together. We need them at the top of the division. So I kind of thought the Bucks might win this. Surprise Brodito, and then transition almost immediately to Jurassic Express. Like the idea of the Bucks, like, hey, we won this match. We're in the title match. Like maybe things are turning around for us. And then they win the titles, and it's like, we're back, baby. And then they immediately lose, like on the next Dynamite, and they drop right back down into their depression thing, which would then, if you wanted to do it, allow an opening for Don Callis to be like, see, if you had been with me, I would have made sure you would have kept those titles. Something like that.
But I was thinking that if we do that way, Don Callis would help them win and be like, see, you're with the family. And they're like, we don't need your help. We don't need your help. And they're like, fine. And then they lose the Jurassic Express. But I still think the end game would be that not Don Callis, that the Broke Bucks are trying to get back with the Omega, and with the Kenny Omega, and somehow form an elite situation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how long, oh my God, Golden Lover is going to be out. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Kota Ibushi. A long time.
Okay.
There is like, he's out here doing squats with his busted femur. But I know. So I don't know. Like, people were saying he might have to retire from this. Like, he's got such a crazy history of injuries, and a broken femur is like, it's hard to break your femur. Like that when that is broken, when people come back from that, they come back to be able to walk with a cane. They don't come back to like do, moonsaults off the top rope to the outside. So if he's coming back and he's all good, great, but it's going to be a minute. Like, he's not going to be super fast.
I'm not going to lie. Ibushi does freakishly heal really, really fast. I think of like Shibata, because people said the same thing about Shibata with that head injuries. Like, he's never coming back, and then he showed up with the Google Translate. So I'm hoping for the best, but I didn't know he broke his femur.
Yeah, that was the thing. He broke the femur, which is
disgusting.
Not good. Yes. But the finish of this match has a whole bunch of big giant moves, one after the other. But eventually it gets down to it gets down to Knight hitting his UFO splash, I believe, on one of the Bucks, but FTR come in, they sneak in, and they hit the Shatter Machine to get the victory. So a lot of fun here. FTR versus Brodito should be really good. I don't think anybody thinks it's not going to be great. I don't think they're putting the titles on FTR, but you could easily also do FTR as the transitional champ to Jurassic Express. Like, I just think that they've got a connection with the crowd right now that you would be really foolish to like ignore. So we'll see what they do with them. But right now, that's we'll see. Them winning the title at like World's End is certainly a possibility. Jurassic Express, but we'll see where they go. But really great action.
I'm going to sit up here and agree with some people in chat saying that if you do something like that, you could do a cope and cage. However, I do also have to go back to what Alex said about Jurassic Express. If you ignore the fans, which AEW has before, I think you'll miss something special here. And Cope and Cage have a lot more time to marinate because they'll be here or not, I don't know, for a while. But when it comes to Jurassic Express, we don't want the fans to lose interest. You know, strike while the iron is hot. They're really over. Old boy even came out in his scapegoat mask and everyone's still like, oh. So it's no big deal. Also, I want to say the Bucks, why would you trust FTR in the beginning of that match? Because literally not even 5 minutes later, they stabbed you right in the back. How? I'm sports confused at that decision.
They're leaning babyface already because they're dumb. You know what I mean? That's part of the makeup of being a babyface in wrestling is that you're a little dumb and a little naive and a little gullible. You know what I mean?
You are stupid.
Yeah. So maybe that's part of it. I can't think of a worse decision they could make in the tag team ranks than being like, everybody wants Jurassic Express, but I had a plan that when Copeland was done filming whatever season it was of Percy Jackson, that he comes back with Christian, and by that time FTR are the champions, and they beat FTR for those title belts. And I just feel like, yeah, but no, just no to that. It like passing over Jurassic Express with the amount of like fan groundswell of support that you have from them, that organic support that the fans have decided we want these guys in favor of Copeland and Christian, who the fans also like, but I think if you made them choose, they would choose Jurassic Express.
I mean, there is a world and there is a timeline where FTR does beat Brodito. FTR loses to Cope and Cage. Cope and Cage lose to Jurassic Express, shake Jurassic Express's hand, and passes the torch. That way, everyone is happy. There's a resolve to everything. And I think that much like how we use Sting to put over younger talent and some of these older guys, how was Danielson, there is a world where Cope and Cage, because I don't know, I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't know how long Cope or the Edgester is, how long he's got for this AEW run or whatever the case may be. Real quick, I wanted to read another Humper chat because it made me laugh. Shout out to Amanda B, who gave us 3 buckaroonies saying excited for the Alex and Cresta crossover. 2 of my faves, the one woman power trip and the Alex Sour power trip. So sour power trip.
The power trip and the sour trip is absolutely the future name of our podcast. Like that's it. That's it. Right.
I'm high off of sour power, baby.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. We got our the Don Callis family summit where they all come down to the ring. But oh no, Takeshita, he's got travel issues. He couldn't be here today. And everyone gets up and, well, not everyone. Lance Archer definitely didn't give a speech, but a bunch of people gave a speech about things. And then there was a painting done ostensibly by the wonderful Mel Coleman of Don Callis in front, shirtless, with abs, oiled, and everyone in the back. And I had to zoom in to figure out who was all in there because I really wanted Andrade to be in there, but like somebody painted over his face with El Clone. Like they put the mask on. I wanted that to be the case, that they put the El Clone mask, they painted it over Andrade's face. And Mel Coleman, if you're out there, please confirm. But Mark Davis is in there, and Brian Cage is in there, who hasn't been like on screen as part of the family in, I don't know, 8 months, longer, maybe even a year. He's been out for a long time with these injuries.
Mhm.
But Mark Davis is in there, so I was glad to see Mark Davis was in there. But everyone is in the back. Yeah, so they announced that Takeshita couldn't be here because of travel. And then he shows up. And I guess he was able to work out his travel issues. What were the did Okada book his tickets? What's the thing that made like it's obvious to me that they're trying to say that like he had travel issues because something got in the way that like he would have been here on time, but somebody screwed with him. Obviously, Okada. His face said it all when he showed up. He was like, like I just wanted to know what the specifics was of that. Maybe we'll hear more about that on Collision. But he shows up and he's obviously very pissed. And Okada stands there, and Don Callis is like, "Listen, we need you to do the right thing and shake Okada's hand." So it's a command given to Takeshita, not one to Okada. And then he hesitates, and Callis goes, "Shake his hand!" And I was like, "Okay, well now we don't need to yell at Takeshita like that." But he's going to do it. He's going to be a good boy and shake his hand. Like when Dad says to the two brothers who are fighting, like, we're not going anywhere until you guys shake hands and make up.
Don't make me get the get along shirt.
That's right. And so he's going to do it. He's actually going to do what Dad says. But Okada does the and that's it. So now they're really angry at each other and they got to be broken up because they're going to fight. They don't like each other at all. This is good. I want that. More than anything else, I think my most anticipated match that I know we're getting is Okada and Takeshita. Like, I think that's the one I know we're getting for sure. That's not like on the next pay-per-view cycle, but like in the future. Okada and Takeshita's going to hit different.
Let me tell you something. When Takeshita's music hit and he had that look on his face from down the ramp, I was like, that's grown men problems. Mm-hmm. When they said travel issues, I thought the same thing. I'm like, damn, Okada. Furthermore, Donald Callis, what are you doing? What are you doing? Sowing seeds of dissent in your group? You are massaging it. You are making Takeshita feel crazy. You are literally gaslight, gatekeep, girl bossing on him. Like, and there's no repercussion for Okada. At this point, you gotta let these two fight. Sometimes you gotta fight your dad. I don't suggest it, but sometimes you gotta fight your dad. Yeah, and that's where it has to be. I don't know how. Listen, Takeshita splitting would be amazing, but Takeshita taking Kyle Fletcher with him, Lord have mercy that those two together. And even then, I think Don Callis, I love you. I went to the Don Callis School of Facts. Brother, this is going to backfire on you. When you put all your eggs in one basket like you did with Kenneth Deshawn by God Omega, it blew up in your face. Yep. Learn from this. You need all of these guys. Stop massaging the situation. As much as I love Don Callis, though, I won't lie. The thought of him getting punched in the face.
So he says, we're going to nip this in the bud right now. I'm going to force the two of you to be a tag team again on Collision. And we see later that the team they're going to face is the Unacclaimed. Is
two teams in the get along shirts.
I mean, I get the thematic aspect of it, but well, man, I'm every time I see more between Bowens and Castro, I'm like, we begged for months to break up this team. You gave it comparatively, you gave it 5 minutes. And you gave really bad creative to Bowens. Otherwise, I think he really would have gotten over. But everything about it didn't work. I loved what Max Caster was doing as the heel who thinks he's great, but then loses immediately. That was fun. That had legs. You know how much legs it has? they kept the gimmick but gave it to a different act. MXM is just doing the Max Caster Open Challenge, but they're killing it too because it's a really fun gimmick. So they're like, we can't lose the gimmick. The gimmick's too good. But everyone needs to see that the Acclaimed are better together than they would ever be apart. And to that, I say nay. Like,
I agree with that. I don't want to see that. Push.
I don't want to see them back together again. Like, give it some time at least. Let them spend a couple of years apart. At least a full year. It felt like they gave it 4 or 5 months and they were like, okay, back together again.
But he also forced it. That was the other thing. There was no coincidence. There was no victim of circumstance. Yeah. Billy Gunn inserted it. Jerry Lynn inserted it. There's no, we were in a battle royale and we had a chemistry moment. You guys are trying to stop trying to make fetch a thing. It was for a hot second and it's done now. That's canceled. That's finished. I think there is something there, but the way you guys are going about it, this isn't the New Day. Respectfully, give it 5 seconds, like you said. And Max Caster was so corny that it was getting over, like Ricochet. And I agree with the bad booking for Anthony Bowens. Put him in the Don Callis family, damn it. I would rather see him with oh my goodness. I almost said Skye Flight Team, but that is not who I meant. Respectfully, I meant the Hurt Syndicate. In some weird way, I would love to see Bowens in the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know how thematically his character fits, but that'll give you the edge, like Danny Garcia with the Death Riders. There's something there, but you guys give him the 5-tool player and he's just kind of a tool getting used. Respectfully,
I don't deny it. That's very good stuff. There's a video package for Olympia, who yoked, I guess might be the best way I could describe. My goodness, that woman.
Bro.
Wow.
I've never worked out a day of my life.
Well, if you get started now and put in the work 4 or 5 hours a day, every day for the next 10 years, you might be able to get to wherever Olympia is because man. So she's coming from CMLL to challenge Mercedes on Saturday on Collision for the CMLL World's title. So that'll be a lot of fun. Statlander's talking with Renee. So you're really angry that I crashed your party. I'm gonna be watching your match on Collision. It says, actually, just wanted to let you know, I have the one title that you can't get. I'm gonna make sure at Full Gear that you don't get it, and I'm not hard to find. So if you want to find me later, I'll skip to that now. Later, Mercedes does in fact find her backstage, and they brawl, and they go down to the ring, and then we get a little standoff, a little back and forth. Statlander gets the advantage, but then here comes Athena to uneven the odds. And take advantage. They do a backstabber into an O face, which if they work on the timing could be one of the better the tandem finishing moves for a tag team that ever. That was really cool. But they're gonna beat her up some more, and then here come Willow and Harley to break things up. That is your first round match. I don't think you put Athena and Mercedes together to be a one and done. I think they're at least getting to the semifinals. I like they might after tonight. They might do a thing where Billy Starks costs Athena, and that's how you get them facing each other in ROH. But I really don't want that as part of the first ever women's tag tournament. Like, you can keep all the ROH drama on ROH. And actually, if you're gonna put Athena and Mercedes together as a tag team in the first ever women's tag team title tournament in AEW, I think it should be about the tournament and not like a thing that's like entering from outside to dictate how matches end.
I'll say that you don't need Billy Starks to screw over either one of those girls. Everybody hates those two girls. Everybody hates those two girls. Yep. I do agree that they go far in the tournament. You don't put Athena and Mercedes together to lose in the first round. very respectfully, unless Harley Cameron pins Mercedes. That won't happen, but I would be sports entertained with a capital T in the middle. So, I was very sports entertained by this segment. I want Athena and Mercedes to win all the way, and also with Statlander, I don't know how that's gonna work, baby. I don't know how Athena and Chris. I mean, not Athena, Mercedes and Chris. I don't know how that's gonna work. Who gonna pin? Who gonna take the pin? You gonna pin the champion that everyone's like, you Statlander should have been champion, or Mercedes, as some people call her, Mercedes Hogan. That's not her. She's just a winner.
Right.
I don't know what you do there. I know what I want, but what I want is for Mercedes to win again, and I know nobody else wants that.
I think what happens is that Mercedes, if they indeed make it to the finals, and the finals are indeed at Full Gear, I don't know if they've said that the finals are at Full Gear, but if they are, and Mercedes has to pull double duty, obviously the first of her 2 matches would be the tag team tournament finals.
Yeah.
And if they lose there, and Mercedes is dinged up from the match, but also pissed off at Athena because she feels Athena cost her or whatever, then she can have that be the reason, how she is protected in a loss to Statlander. But Stat's got to get her win back over Mercedes after those matches she had last year. I think that's kind of the thing. And one of the story is Mercedes, you can have all of the other titles. This one you can't have.
Yeah.
And that
could be a theme.
That eats at her. And that's part of her overall downfall. I think that could be the story there for sure. But this was a fun little moment. I really like Willow and Harley Cameron. This is kind of why I wanted the 16-team tournament, because I feel like you put Willow and Harley together, they should get a victory, but they're not getting a victory against Mercedes and Athena unless there's some kind of interference somewhere that costs them that. But this should be a lot of fun.
I personally, I don't know why Willow is in this, considering the Conglomeration is going to be doing blood and guts, and Marina, respectfully, she's definitely Rhea Ripley in the beginning of Judgment Day, sticking your nose where you don't belong. She's like a certain person who's in jail right now for dancing all up in your videos in the 90s. She's always there. Superman videos, she was in the back, bro. She's always there. So Willow, you're gonna have to run interference. And Willow's someone who fights for honor, and she's gonna be too winded if she does the tag match. Very respectfully, you might have to cattle prod her. I'm sorry. I respect Marina because I'm afraid, but you might have to cattle prod her. She's crazy. Yeah,
that's true. We got our Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley rematch. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy Danielson when he is calling a match and giving me insights into how the different training affects how each guy approaches a match. I really don't like Danielson when he's the color commentator who sticks his opinions about a guy into everything he says. Like, I understand why he would not like Jon Moxley, but some of the stuff he says feels like an 8th grader getting digs in on people. Like, it doesn't that's why you're a wuss, Jon Moxley. I'm like, I just want tell me more about how the bulldog choke comes from a certain area of the world. Like, I want these things. I love that he talks about how well the inside leg kicks that Kyle O'Reilly is using, how they're gonna chop down the much bigger frame of Jon Moxley, and how that leads to X, Y, and Z. All that is great. It's just when he gets all like, so there. I'm like, okay, I understand why you don't like it, but it's not as pleasant for me. But the match, of course, is really good. It ends up being just that Moxley is in danger of tapping out like last week, but he just can't get away from crazy submission spider monkey Kyle O'Reilly, because that's what he is. He just literally just jumps on you from every angle, and finds a way to grab a limb and yank it out of its socket. And I really like that they're giving Kyle O'Reilly this shine. It's unexpected because he's always kind of felt like a goofball, like presented as a goofball, but he's a great wrestler. And when they allow him to like just be a great wrestler, it's amazing what he can do. There's one thing though, this has been bothering me. He's been doing the Adam Cole finisher as part of his repertoire now. The knee to the back of the head, the last shot, I believe is what he called it. Or the boom. They called it the boom in AEW. And they just call it, oh, there he is with the running knee. I'm like, he's paying tribute to his friend Adam Cole, who is out with an undisclosed ailment and we may never see again. And I think just calling it a running knee doesn't like give the proper credence to what he is doing, which I think is a really cool gesture from Kyle O'Reilly. That's all.
It's kind of like what you were saying about the Scorpion Deathlock being a sharpshooter, being I forgot what the other one was. This was the other match though that I had a complaint about. John Moxley might tap out. He tapped out once. Oh God, John Moxley might tap out. He tapped out once. I'm like, bro, let us see it. And I agree with you. John Moxley was doing everything he could to get. He is a little technical spider monkey. Go away. I don't mind so much Danielson running down Moxley because I just wish it was a little bit more funny. I did notice someone in the chat said, well, Nigel was doing it, but Nigel was funny. And Daniel said, just like, you mad, doggy? You mad? It's okay. You on commentary now. Relax. Be funny. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, be funny. This match was good. John Moxley being afraid, and coincidentally, all the rest of the Death Riders being afraid of submissions, and then everybody else in the locker room, because the Death Riders terrorized these guys for up to a year at least, the bare minimum. So now we know that your weakness is loss of air, which is a common weakness for humans. I would do the same thing too. You guys were so lost in the sauce because John Moxley has a never say die that you guys got a double count out, which Kyle O'Reilly, technically, you 2-0, you up on Moxley, and that wasn't a thing before. So,
well, no, it's 1-0 and 1 because a double count out is a draw. And my thing is like, oh, Moxley made sure he got counted out because he didn't want to tap out. No, like Kyle O'Reilly, let go of the hold, roll him into the ring because you can't win the match out there. Kyle O'Reilly is just as guilty of being counted out as John Moxley is. He lost track of time because he was trying to basically choke out John Moxley on the outside. But if you choke out a guy on the outside, you don't win. You have to roll his ass into the ring and then pin his unconscious ass. But you can't do that I understand why he lost track of time. But Moxley was in a guillotine and wasn't getting into the ring because there was a guy who had him in a guillotine. That's why. It's the post match that I thought was fun because Kyle O'Reilly gets back into the ring. It's like, Aubrey, like I couldn't hear you counting. I'm really sorry. Can you run it back? We need like 5 more minutes. Please, Aubrey. I know I can beat him. Just give me 5 more minutes. And then Marina Shafir gets into the ring and just decks Aubrey. So she can't say, yeah, sure, I suppose I can give you 5 minutes.
Can I say
I don't think she was gonna, but Marina just getting in there and going, boom. No, you're not giving him 5 more minutes.
Aubrey never takes a bump. Never. So when she hit her, I was like, sacrilege. What? What?
Yeah.
You know it's real. Like, they've done a good job of keeping Marina cool, but also I hate her. How dare you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, continue your thought. I'm so sorry.
No, it's good. And then Claudio comes in and to take out O'Reilly, but here comes Roderick Strong to take out Claudio, and then we get out comes Briscoe and Orange Cassidy, who does not want to be part of this, and Darby, and Darby's like, we're not done. You thought, like, obviously we're not done. Like, dude, you won. Darby, you won. You made him quit. You put him in a scorpion deathlock and he said, I quit. And now Bryan Danielson, the greatest wrestler who has ever lived, does nothing but disparage him on commentary. Like, you won. You don't need to challenge this man to anything. At this point, you're obsessed. Like, at this point, you're obsessed. You won, man. Move on with your life. Like, go ask Hangman if after he's done with Joe, you can have a title shot. You won. You move on. And he's like, no, I would like to beat you up some more. And Briscoe, who I thought was coming after the TNT title still, because he interrupted a Kyle Fletcher promo last week.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Fletcher, like, Don Callis said no. That wasn't a no from Kyle Fletcher. I believe Mark Briscoe could probably get a response from Kyle Fletcher if he worked Kyle Fletcher a little bit more. But instead he's like, well, if I'm not allowed to have that match, I need to horn myself in to this blood and guts match because I'm Mark Briscoe and I must be on every episode of every television. So so then they make Orange Cassidy say it. He doesn't want to. Man, this is you're being a bad friend. Because Orange Cassidy doesn't want to get involved in this. He doesn't want to do this, but you're making him do it. And that's not nice. So he says blood and guts, and I guess we're doing a blood and guts. Here's the thing that most of it, I didn't want there to be a men's blood and guts. Because the men got one by themselves for years, and the women didn't get one at all. There was a blood and guts challenge sometime back in September. And we still don't know who all is in that match. Women keep getting injured and dinged up, so they can't, I guess, announce a final lineup. But we should know before the men get a full lineup of who's in blood and guts. We should have focused more on the women who were getting their first ever blood and guts. And I think that if you're going to do both, the women should main event. And I think maybe we get that because, like, the Conglomeration is fun and all. And, like, the Conglomeration plus, I guess, plus Darby Allin. But they don't feel like the main event level faction. The Death Fighters are now upper mid-card. They don't have any titles. So you're doing a mid-card men's blood and guts, and hopefully we can figure out a way to slide in some main event level women into the women's blood and guts and get that be the main event of that show.
I totally agree. So I'm gonna start from the top. I mean, by the top, I mean the end of the match. So Darby Allin being obsessed, completely agree. Petitioning to change his theme song to "I hate you so much" right now, because at this point you do need to let it go. However, I understand where he's coming from. You literally tried to kill me. You tried to throw me off of a building after I survived being hit by a bus. After I survived Mount Everest. No, you gotta go. You're a problem. And I won't stop. But also, look where that guy Hangman and Swerve. At some point, you gotta let it go because it's gonna consume you. It's gonna be in every blood and guts. Speaking of blood and guts, if I'm Orange Cassidy, I'm not showing up to work because you guys suck. You are terrible friends. Every time Orange Cassidy does a blood and guts, he literally becomes blood orange. Why would I want to do it? I already told you I don't want to do it. There's a million dudes in the Conglomeration. Get Ishii to do it. I don't want to do it. Why are you forcing me to do it? If I'm Orange Cassidy, my theme song for that night is "Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes." They both reach for the gun because I'm mad. I'm shooting everybody. I'm shooting everybody. You're making me do a match tonight with the Death Riders, not just John Moxley, with all of the Death Riders, with Yuta who got something to prove, Danny Garcia who got something to prove, Claudio Castagnoli who gets up in the morning and slaps bricks for fun. You want me to do that? I hate you guys. I didn't think I could, but I do. I actually hate you guys. You better call in somebody from New Japan. I would heel turn. I would show up in all black jeans and lock the door and never come out. Screw you guys.
People in the chat saying that if Moxley gives up, verbally surrenders because he's a wuss now, which is probably the end of that match. Like he again gives up verbally because he's in a scorpion deathlock from Darby Allin, and that is the final straw for the rest of the Death Riders, and they jump him out of the gang at the end of that match. That is definitely the main event of that show. True. And I feel like that just does a disservice to the women who finally got their blood and guts match, and they announced it first. You've been selling tickets off the back of that women's blood and guts match for weeks now. So I feel like they deserve the main event slot. But yeah,
we do have a humper chat to this from Alistar Gavin, $5 buckaroonies. Thank you so much. It says, well, call me a booking genius. Conglomeration versus the Death Riders is on for blood and guts. Now it's official. Same question as last week. Who wins? Starting with you, Alex. Who do you think wins?
I mean, the good guys, because it's the way blood and guts has always kind of been, is that the good guys can't get their hands on the bad guys, and then they finally do, and then they teach them a lesson. But especially this one, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to, like, the Death Riders are reeling. Mm-hmm. If they were to get a victory here, they would, like, right the ship and then keep going. Like, this has to be the big end of the Death Riders at this point. And I feel like they're already setting the stage for Moxley to be like, no, I'm done. Please, I don't, stop hurting me. And I don't want that to be John Moxley, but I do feel like that's the end, is he's going to again tap out to another Scorpion Deathlock. I feel like that's probably almost certainly the ending of this.
I'm kind of split 50-50. I do think the Conglomeration wins just to further what seems to be very small seeds of dissent. But the Death Riders have never been like a big, well, we're just going to beat you up until you do better. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if they'll do that. But also, there is a world where the Death Riders absolutely win, trying to right the ship, because I don't think this would be the big, you either win here or not. However, if Moxley eats the pin, and Moxley's the reason why they lose, I think there's a very real possibility that is the beginning of the end. Because, come on, dog, how many times are you going to keep losing? Whether it's Gabe, Kid, Claudio, or personally, again, I'm afraid of Marina Shafir. If she led the Death Riders and just stared into the camera, yo, you got it, pal. You got it. So I don't know how that would work, because Moxley at this point has proven himself to be a violent mother lover. And the only person more crazy than him is Gabe Kidd. But I don't know. Gabe Kidd scares me in a different way. Like, I want to call the police. John Moxley, I'm sports terrified. Gabe Kidd, I'm calling 911 actually.
It is a good question as to who would win that match. I'm sure you could put money on it if there was such a website where they would allow you to bet on wrestling. Oh wait, there is such a website.
Whoa! You can bet on wrestling? Yes, you can at MyBookie AG. You might say, oh, who would allow that? MyBookie AG does. So, if you're that confident, if it's so easy to bet on pro wrestling, head over to MyBookie AG. Make yourself some money. They say you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And it's not just pro wrestling. They got casino games. They got all kinds of great stuff. Every sport you can imagine. From the NFL to floorball. And if you don't know what floorball is, it's time for you to put some money down on it. Head over there right now at MyBookie AG. Get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100, or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. They have an incredible amount of bet back bonuses and just great additional features. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. They have a wonderful support system. Head over to MyBookie AG, where you can bet on pro wrestling.
Bet responsibly. Don't
bet
lose
responsibly.
Your house.
Bet responsibly. Got to do it. Some other members of a Blood and Guts match, but the women had a at a tag match in the first round. When we had the match last week and the winner gets to pick their opponents thing that they did last week, and Jamie Hayter and Aminata won that match and got to pick their opponents, I said, well, the classic storytelling that would come out of this is you picked your own poison. Like Hayter and Aminata winning and saying, we want to kick your butt, Sisters of Sin. The classic storytelling would be for the Sisters of Sin to take that personally and then get the victory themselves in the actual tournament. But I didn't think they were going to take Jamie Hayter and Aminata out of the tournament that fast. Joke's on me, because they did. But I don't have a problem with Sisters of Sin winning because, again, that's classic storytelling, and I really like Julia Hart and Skye Blue, and they're an actual tag team that has worked together for a very long time, not just Jamie Hayter and Aminata are friends now, so they're a tag team and they're in the tournament. The problem I have with it is I don't stand for this when I watch WWE programming. So I don't stand for it when I watch AEW programming. This interference stuff behind the ref's back, costing people matches, like that to me is just the laziest possible booking. Like you can't figure out a way for the Sisters of Sin to believably win the match or to cheat on their own without needing somebody on the outside to help them for them to win the match. I always hate it when somebody who's not in the match does a thing on the outside of the ring and costs somebody a match, especially in the first ever women's tag team title tournament in AEW history. I just don't think we should sully that with interference and distraction and behind, oops, the referee is a dum-dum for a minute finishes. I always hate those. And I understand why. I mean, it furthers the blood and guts thing. Tekla wants one back on Jamie Hayter. I get it. All of that stuff. But just not in a tournament that is this important. Please don't do that. And this is why I really hope they don't have Billy Starks interfere and cost Athena, because you just did one of those. And I don't want that to happen twice. Once is too much. You have reached and exceeded your quota of random shenanigans finishes in this tournament to me. Your quota was 0. You have exceeded that. Please do not go beyond one, please.
I'm not going to hold you. I didn't hate this. To me, it made sense. I only say that because Aminata and Thekla have gotten the Peter Griffin versus the chicken treatment. When I see you, it's on site. It's up every time. So to me, this makes sense. I do see this playing out where the Sisters of Sin do lose because of interference from either Hayter or Aminata. So that's fine. I see that's a way for them to lose, because I do agree with you in the sense of Julia Hart and Skye Blue are an actual tag team. In fact, they're one of the oldest tag teams next to Ty Mello or Ty J, rather. So I'm a little concerned about that, but look at who's in the tournament. This is a great way to be like, because of you, the sins of the father will always come back to get you. So it is pick your poison, but you cheated. So now I'm going to cheat you out your boots. Maybe someone you should beat. Now you've got no chance. So don't hate it in that regard. But it also, like you said, puts into question, that just has to further the blood and guts, right? You screwed us. Now let's screw you. But now who's left?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't even thought about the possibility that Sisters of Sin in the second round match would get screwed over by Jamie and Aminata, but that's a very, very big possibility now. And listen, an eye for the eye makes the world go blind. Let's not encourage that in our wrestling programming. You have coined the phrase. I hope you have trademarked it. When you shenan once, you're going to shenan again. And
That's not my phrase, to be fair. I just repeat it because I'm a yapper. But I will trademark it now that you've said something. Don't steal my line. Don't trademark it.
If anybody else hasn't trademarked it, whoever you stole it from, nobody knows who it is. So you trademark it, and now it's yours. Because I love the phrase. I don't want anybody to shenan once. Please don't shenan again. We get shenanigans over and over and over again. So I understand. You are correct. It makes a whole bunch of sense to further the blood and guts thing. But to me, like, I don't know why, but I mean, it just feels like people have been asking, women's wrestling fans have been asking for the women's tag team championships in AEW for a really long time. And you finally have them, and you're doing a tournament for it. To me, that should be sacrosanct. We should not be just throwing in random stuff into that and booking it the way that I know WWE would book a tournament, because I've watched enough of them in my time. And every time they do it, I go like, but can't we just have people who are in the match decide the match? Every time AEW runs a match where there is absolutely no outside interference, I go, why can't that be the rule for all of the matches? Unless there's like a no DQ or something. Like, if we find out you interfered, you get penalized. I love those rules.
If you were going to cheat from under the ring, your face has to be painted like Danhausen.
Okay. That'll allow. I like that a lot. Anthony Velasquez says, say what you want, but I'm glad the Sisters of Sin won the actual tag team. The actual tag team beat the Two Thunder single stars. Yes, I agree. If they had won with like Julia bringing back the mist, and she spits the mist in Aminata's face when the ref's not looking and is able to cover her face while she pins her, I'm cool with it. I have no problem with the heels cheating within the match that they are in. It's just, man, I have been beaten down by the Bloodline and then the Death Riders. Anytime somebody's pal who's not in the match decides to get involved in the match, I have a knee-jerk response of like, no, please don't do that. Even when it makes storyline sense like this, it's just a thing I never enjoy watching.
I'm triggered because he's like the Death Riders, the Bloodline. I'm like, I wish it was only those two. I had the System. I had Violent by Design. Order 4. Jesus Christ. Yep. Who wrestles by themselves anymore?
Nobody. But this was a really well put together match, and I love the finisher that the Sisters of Sin use. I think that's really cool. But yeah, so out from under the ring comes Tekla. She spears Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter is not able to get into the ring and help Aminata, and yeah, so that is the end of that match. Sisters of Sin will face the winner of Willow and Harley versus Athena and Mercedes, which Athena and Mercedes are the type that don't care if you're also a bad guy; they'll beat you up anyway. So I think it doesn't necessarily preclude you have to have a heel versus face match. That's just not a thing that they have to do in this situation. So it's still possible. But Willow and Harley is still very much a possibility, considering that they would be facing the Sisters of Sin in the second round.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, to an extent, there's a little bit of story there. Harley Cameron, you were asking everyone to be your teammate. Yeah, Sisters of Sins getting screwed over. That's fine. But then, like, if you put Willow and Harley in the final against Athena and CEO Mercedes, I mean, I can see what's happening here.
No, it's Willow. They're in the first round.
Okay.
So they versus it's Athena and Mercedes versus Willow and Harley in the first round.
Okay.
On the other half of the bracket is what is now Megan Bain and Marina versus Ty J. And then the other part, it's Alex Windsor and Rio versus Tony and Mina. So I think I would be very surprised if Tony and Mina don't win the whole thing, simply because
that's fair as well.
I mean, I would love for it to be somebody who's been a tag team. I mean, Tony and Mina have been friends forever. I get that part, but also it just feels like, well, Tony is the biggest star we have, and everyone loves Mina, so they'll get to the finals and they'll win.
They don't even have a name.
They'll come up with one before they have their first round match, I'm sure.
Call me a purist, but like you said, maybe an actual tag team should win, a tag team tournament. Well, I don't know.
I really don't think Ty J has a chance of beating
hell no.
Megan and Marina. So
if they don't win, I'd be surprised. These are bullies.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. So our main event is the 4-way dance. Boy, is Bobby Lashley impressive and super over.
That's a large man.
He is a large man. He's a large man. He's also 49 years old. So it's not possible for a man who's 49 to look like that, but he is, and he does. So Ricochet, Hook, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe winning this always seemed very obvious. Hook losing it always seemed very obvious. The finish was very obvious and was indeed the finish. But getting there was fun. Ricochet hopping all over the place, getting to play spoiler. Hook trying his best, herking people up, trying to do stuff. I loved him and Bobby Lashley working together to ping pong Ricochet all over the place. And then as soon as he's out of the way, Hook's like, well, I'm going to step to you now, big man. And Bobby Lashley says, calm down. I just loved it. And just tossed his ass out of the ring. Like, no, we're not doing this. Listen, kid, I have nothing against you. I do not want to hurt you. Go sit down while grown folks fight. And this was very funny. I did like that a lot. So yeah, the state of the entire match before we get to the finish and the stuff that happened afterwards. What did you feel like?
I gotta tell you, this is the second time I've seen people try to young boy people in AEW. That is number 2, the most disrespectful thing you can do in professional wrestling. Number 1 is giving someone an angle slam because all your leggies is in the air. That's just rude. I'm a grown man. Don't put me down. Honestly, that Hook in his own right is really, really good. And he does the tossing. So for Bobby to toss him is insane. Bless Hook's heart for you even being in this situation. It reminds me a lot of Action Andretti a couple of years ago, who was like, I'm good. I don't care. Please, Kat, relax. Food is after. Sorry, I'm getting beat up by my manager. She doesn't care. It's 11:30. Food is at 11 o'clock, and you are talking about something I don't care about. Hurry up. Which is insane to me because it's like, I would want Hook to do something or to go far. I'm hoping that this leads to a Hook Ricochet back and forth. Don't think that'd be cute, but Bobby Lashley put him and say, calm down. Insane. I have to say, I also feel bad that Samoa Joe choked him out like that. You really said, I'm going to do everything in my power. And Samoa Joe said, you're going to go to sleep. You're going to turn the power off. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I hate this because I think Samoa Joe is going to lose to Hangman, which is the right call. But I'm a Samoa Joe stan, so.
I love Samoa Joe. I would feel entirely different about this if Samoa Joe had lost in a different manner. He lost as clean as you possibly can in the dead center of the ring to Hangman. There's no reason for him to have a rematch unless he's a sore loser. And I don't
think Samoa Joe no?
That's the problem I have with it, is that if he lost that way, you should write him to be a little more okay with having lost. And then we don't have to run it back because we're running it back. I guess we're not doing it at Full Gear, but we're definitely going to do it at some point. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. We're going to do that again. We're doing Hangman and Samoa Joe again. We're doing a lot of stuff over again that we didn't, need to do again. I don't think like Samoa Joe and Hangman was a really cool thing to do for Hangman's first, major defense. But we don't need to do it twice in a row. There are a lot of great talent in this company who have never gotten a world title shot. Ricochet surprising everybody and winning this and having a really fun match with Hangman that we know he's going to lose, but we also know Samoa Joe is going to lose. So, like, you could figure out a bunch of people that could be in this position. Bobby Lashley. I feel like Bobby Lashley didn't come to AEW to be tag champ. He came to become a world champ. MVP will tell you about that when he cuts promos. So Bobby Lashley getting a title shot here would not be out of line. I love Samoa Joe, but as Damn It's Smidget says, Joe versus Hangman 2 is not needed with a clean finish. We'll talk about the very ending here. Solid switch by Hangman. Hear me out. Takeshita needs to turn face, and he can be a major player that can make up for Swerve and Ospreay. Absolutely. If you're going to turn him face, though, I want him like Stone Cold Steve Austin face. I don't need him to be anything near a white meat baby face.
Yeah, no Cody Rhodes, please.
I just need a guy that we can root for because he's great. And we don't need to like watch him be like, oh shucks, but in Japanese.
Stop it. Yo, I lost my train of thought because you said that. I hate you so much.
Sorry. Was it about Takeshita? Was it about Samoa Joe? Was it about Bobby Lashley?
Oh, it was about Samoa Joe. Thank you. Now I remember. Okay. Jesus. Samoa Joe, though, in this situation is okay to lose because Samoa Joe will be a badass regardless, and I don't think it takes away or loses from his stock. If Bobby Lashley won that, Bobby Lashley has to win. No disrespect, because like you said, Bobby Lashley got here, and I don't think he got here to play upper mid-card or tag team champion. He got here to be champion, and Hangman just got here. I think if we would have put Bobby in this situation, it would have been like Megan Bayne versus Toni Storm. It was like, well, Megan's got to win, right? And then it's like, no, she doesn't. I could see Hook winning this. Excuse me. I could even have seen Ricochet winning this because no disrespect, no matter who won it, you weren't beating Hangman. No one has been built up to that. And I think it'd be nice to see a Hook in that spot, a Ricochet who's been a jerk in that spot. But with someone like Ricochet, you would end up dragging it on in the same way the Ops will. You can have GOA come out and interfere. But again, I think Ricochet is one of those people right now that he could lose. He's a loser right now, technically. He loses all the time, and no one bats an eye. It's fine. But I don't know. It's tough because when it comes to Bobby, I want to put him in the main event scene, but only if he's winning. And right now, Hangman needed the win, so it's Hangman's turn. Let's build up other people. You got Anthony Bowens, you know what I mean? If we're worried about something for someone to do, I wouldn't even mind him going against a Wheeler Yuta or someone like that, just someone different. So when you do get to your Bobby Lashley's, or even, I would even be interested in seeing Ricochet win because he's a piece of crap. Very Eddie Guerrero, very I lie, I cheat, I steal. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to build him up. And if it wasn't Joe, it wasn't going to be Bobby Lashley. I hate to say it like that.
I disagree. I think that you can absolutely have Bobby Lashley lose to Hangman because it legitimizes Hangman, and Bobby Lashley hasn't lost. Losing to the world champion is a perfect first loss. And
okay, that's a fair point. Fair point.
And he would get to do the thing that I wanted Samoa Joe to do after he lost, which was to stand up, shake Hangman's hand, and raise it up, because they have made a level of respect. Like MVP would say, listen, the world champ beat you. You respect that man. Like, you gave him everything you had. He gave it right back. He was the better man on that night. If you tussle again, maybe next time you'll beat him. But you respect that man, the world champ who beat you fair and square. I think MVP would absolutely cut that.
You think MVP would? We talk about the same Hurt Syndicate? Because I don't see that happening.
No, because Hurt Syndicate has absolutely been turned babyface. They've been turned.
I've missed a couple of episodes. I'll trust your judgment on this.
Okay. They've been turned. They had that whole feud with the Gates of Agony and Ricochet, where Ricochet and GOA were absolutely playing heel, and they were getting gigantic babyface reactions. The people are on the side of the Hurt Syndicate now fully, and they've embraced it. They're allowing them to be badass babyfaces. I think you could absolutely do. Bobby Lashley loses to Hangman, especially if he loses to 3 buckshots in a row the way that Samoa Joe did. And he would shake his hand and be like, you were better that night. I'm going to get you one day. Something like that. And then everybody's cool with it. And then they can go back and they can win the tag titles or the trios titles or whatever you're going to do. I think you could do that. And we need something to be that for Hangman as the world champ, because if Samoa Joe says you're a fraud and then he faces Hangman, and Hangman beats him fair and square, and the Samoa Joe says you're still a fraud, like I don't know where we're going with that. We need the thing to like turn it around and let's have somebody be proven wrong and then take it. But whatever. The way this match ends is Lashley is on the apron. Here comes Ricochet to hit him with a chair, and all of a sudden everything turns red for Bobby Lashley. He gets down off the apron and chases Ricochet up the ramp. Meanwhile, that leaves Hook watching this all happen, knowing Samoa Joe is behind him. And I'm like, Hook, you used to team with this dude. You never turn your back to Samoa Joe, because in 5 seconds you're going to be going night-night, and that's what happened. Lashley tried to get back in the ring, but couldn't get back in ring in time, and so Samoa Joe chokes out Hook. He's got your title match. Before we go into this brilliant... Wait, hold on. First, weird, and I don't know what's going on. And then second, brilliant, like it happened. There was a weird middle part there that I don't know what to talk about. But then the end was brilliant. Before we talk about that, we do have to talk about our other sponsor for tonight, which is here. If you want to get maybe a little better deal on Full Gear when it comes around, maybe try our friends at Nord.
NordVPN.com is truly a catch-all for wrestling fans. Listen, we got this great deal going, 2 years plus 4 months free. You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Before I even tell you that it works on all your operating systems, Windows, Mac, whatever you got. Android, your phone, your desktop, your laptop, your PC, all those devices work as well. You can put it on your router, your smart TV, but you get wrestling at a much more affordable price on those pay-per-views. You can watch all that WWE content with one Netflix account, but that's not it. You're also protecting yourself. They got great secure cloud storage. You can create your own private network. They've got a data breach scanner. They got the Threat Protection Pro that blocks that malware, blocks the trackers, blocks the ad, even when you're not connected to the VPN. Head over to nordvpn.com/Fightful. See all the great things that they have to offer you.
NordVPN. They're one of our longest sponsors. They're great. They get fantastic deals on stuff like that. Please use them. Simmons says Lashley's stories in the video packages has been never lost in singles and never pinned. Hangman can win that match. He's the only Hurt Syndicate member never pinned. I mean, if you were going to lose to anybody, losing to the world champion is the one guy I feel like that would be okay with. Simmons also says, I almost thought Ricochet was going to win after that hot moment. Man, when he was like diving on like one guy, then another guy, then another guy, that was great. He's way cooler when he's not being a super dork all the time. He better beat Bobby to end this feud. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's much more likely that GOA gets the definitive victory than Ricochet, but we'll see. He says that ending with Hangman with gold. Okay, so they decide they're going to interview Samoa Joe, and he brings out the other two ops, and they're like, hey, everybody, let's have a big celebration. Let's bring out what do they call him? I don't know. There's the
Halloween horroring crew. I don't know.
Whatever they were. There were this crew of people from the crew, I guess, dressed in inflatable Halloween costumes. They all come down. There's a chicken. There's a cow. There's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And of course, we all know that very famously on a Halloween episode of Dynamite, Hangman Page was in the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man costume. So Samoa Joe watches the program even when he wasn't on it, and he says, "Hold on, we're not letting that happen again. Let's get rid of all these dudes before I sign this contract," because that's the whole
Smart.
thing. Now, I should mention the entire episode. Tony Schiavone is wearing the Phantom of the Opera mask, the same mask that he wore, or a similar mask. I don't know if it's the same exact one, but a very similar mask to the one he wore in Halloween Havoc 1990. And so he's wearing this Phantom of the Opera mask, and he's interviewing Samoa Joe. And then they bring over the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man guy after throwing all the other inflatables out of the ring. They bring over the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They take off his mask. It's not Hangman, so they toss him over the top rope too. And then Samoa Joe gets a microphone and cuts a promo on Hangman. I'm gonna beat you and everything. This is all very awkward. There's a lot of dead air in between spots. Like nobody knows where to go. All the inflatable guys, like their inflatable fan thing wasn't working. Like the cow was just melting because there was nothing blowing air into the suit. Like it was very odd. All this was really poorly timed. It's like, man, this is a weird thing to do with your overrun. And then you get Tony Schiavone narrating like a toast to everything going on here. It's a toast. And then you have Hangman. Sorry, you have Schiavone in the back on the microphone. And then you see the guy say, and then a toast to Hangman Adam Page, long may he reign, in Hangman's voice. Hangman is wearing a Tony Schiavone with the Phantom of the Opera mask costume. They did a switcheroo when they were knocking out all the guys in costumes. Schiavone got out of the ring, and the next time you saw him in the ring, it was Hangman in the mask. He had put on Schiavone beard. He darkened up his eyebrows. He was wearing a wig. He had the blazer and the tie and everything. The trademark Schiavone khakis, everything. It was perfect. And then he kicks Hobbs and Shibata in the dick. And then he hits Samoa Joe over the head with a beer bottle. This was amazing. When I realized he was in Schiavone thing, I was like, has he been Schiavone the whole show? No, he wasn't. But I went back and looked. But this was a lot of fun. I just wish they had figured out a way to get to it that wasn't in such a wonky way. But my goodness, that was fun.
This segment, like you said, was very weird. Have you ever seen that meme of the person walking and then they step on a rake and the rake hits them? And then underneath it, the person's on the rake and does like a kick flip and gets down the stairs and then the rake hits him? It was the second one. Because I was like, what was that? I hate to sound like Joel Pearl here, but pacing. Did we get the pin early? Did we have to do 15 minutes of overrun? What was that about? I do have a Humper chat from, let me make sure that I can read because D is for Lisdexia. Okay, here it is. From Jordan S. saying, honestly, Hangman's disguise was as good as the Bischoff Priest one because I had no clue. For a hot second, like Alex, I was like, was he Tony Schiavone the whole time? But no, this was great. I don't know if this was on purpose or maybe this is me telling myself and gaslighting myself, but that same helmet hair Hangman had on reminded me of the wig Enzo Amore had on when he snuck into WWE that time. And it just looked like a little kid. I'm like, did you guys buy it? I want to believe that maybe that's the wrestling lore wig when you're trying to infiltrate. That's what I believe. Like, give that wig an Emmy. On top of that, kicking everyone in the dick, yo, smart. You can't it's either the cattle prod, the gun, or the dick for these guys because they're mean. The Ops and the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah,
I would do that too. I don't know how we like I said, I personally don't think Joe wins. I like the end of this. I think it was a smart thing to do. How Joe didn't see that coming. I like the swerve that it wasn't the guys because I was like, I see what's happening here. It's the chicken. He's taking so long. But no, the chicken was just the chicken was fried.
The chicken had a rough landing when Hobbs took him over the top rope. Whew.
That chicken's fried. I'm sorry. I had to do my little Nikki.
The other Mikey V says we are all in the Matrix, and Hangman is Agent Smith. That like when I realized he was standing there and he took off the mask, I was like, oh my God, it's Hangman. Oh my God, it was so much fun.
It was good.
That was a lot of fun. And Joshua D CT says this FM spitting. This FM? No. MF. See, Lisdexia also infects me as well.
Come on, Lisdexia,
this
baby.
MF spitting. Not FM. That's a radio. Sean, I'll keep saying it. Okada's second half of 2025 is oozing with the energy and aura only matched with when I take Blue Chew. Blue Chew is not a sponsor for tonight. I checked, but if it was, we would certainly throw to an ad. But thank you so much, Joshua. Yeah, Okada's doing great stuff, like really, really great stuff.
I have to tell you, Okada went from I can't be bothered to what if I was bothered? Like, this is the gimmick that Orange Cassidy, I think, is trying to do. I don't care. I don't care. But what if I really cared? And he really cares and doesn't care right now. And him just really, he is giving Konosuke hell. I don't know how to describe. He is giving him Stokely Hathaway levels of hell. Just being there, just giving him. I live. Because even in that match, you're like, well, Takesha's just going to beat him up. I don't know, because Okada's beat his ass. I don't know. And I can't wait. Let's fight forever.
That's gonna be a great one. It's gonna be a great one. I love it. I love that they're slow burning that. It's gonna be great. This has been great. Cresta, thank you so much for filling in for Sean. This has been a lot of fun. Cresta, where can all the people find you and follow you now that everyone loves you because you're Cresta?
Hi, everyone. I'm Cresta, not Kate. Kate is fantastic. We love Kate over here. There'll be no Kate slander. Stay on the lookout for TNA shows. The next one I know we're doing is the Thursday live one. But listen, stay on the lookout for TNA shows. There's no Collision post show this weekend because it is Saturday night's main event, and Sean will be taking care of that in conglomeration with Collision as well. You can find your girl Cresta Star on all forms of social media at Cresta Star, except for X Twitter, but it's going to be Cresta the Star. I have a YouTube channel. I got a bunch of videos down the pipelines. And ask yourself, have you ever wanted to know useless information about wrestlers that may or may not be true? Boy, do I have a series for you. So stay tuned to that. Outside of that, guys, I'm yapping about wrestling. I'm happy to be back. I love you. I hope you find $20 on the floor. Your butt looks amazing. And heart stars and horseshoes. Alex, where can the people find you? You sour, but not actually sour. You smart sour power man.
You can find me on all the social medias at Alex Sourgraps, although I use them less and less now. But you can also find me behind the paywall, Fight for Select, the best $5.99 in the biz, people. So many scoops. We found out today that Private Party, their contracts are not coinciding. So one of them, their contract ends before the other one. Which one is which? You'll have to pay money to find out. $5.99, you're all kind of stuff, but also you get me, and for now, you get me and a puppet of myself that is from Bulgaria doing reviews of Raw and SmackDown. Eventually, Kate will be back, I hope, for Raw because we have so much fun with Kate. But also, with Kate, on this very YouTube channel, we review NXT on Tuesdays. That is a lot of fun as well. We'll probably throw together something for a review of Saturday Night's Main Event. Maybe me and the puppet will review Saturday Night's Main Event and whatever goes on there on Saturday night, because I think I'm taking Halloween off, because why wouldn't I? Until next week, guys, hang out, be good to each other, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.